this time. All right. Please put your hands in front of your heart. And bow. So thank you for being here. Lately, I've received many feedbacks. Yes, just the light is on. Let me switch it off. Many feedbacks. So either on the one-on-one meetings, by messages, that for those who are really following those talks, but not only, also doing the practice at home, that it has changed their lives. Not the outer conditions. This hasn't changed most of the time, right? You are not richer, you have not necessarily moved to another place, you haven't changed people around you. Some people keep being, not very nice to you. Body hasn't changed. And yet, something has changed, something inside that allows you to actually have less reactivity, as less unconscious reactivity, less agitation, more wisdom. It's not only the old age, it's also that the way we see our lives and our inner landscape has changed. And awareness, mindfulness has done that. The understanding of what's going inside has done that. So that what comes from outside is no longer felt as an aggression, or is very much less attractive. We are now able to stay inside, to stay grounded, to pause, to reflect, to have more calmness. It's not always easy. Sometimes there is calmness, sometimes there isn't. But overall, if you look back, 2 years we've been together. 2 years. It's not a few days, it's not a few weeks. It's quite a commitment. 2 years already. And if you look back, 2 years back, and now, yeah, something has changed. That's the power of the Dhamma. That's the power of the. It touched my heart, really. Today, a theme appeared while it was brought to yesterday, actually. And I would like to share it with you today with guided meditation. So thank you for bearing with me today. I did it myself, this practice, long time ago, maybe almost 8 years ago. And yeah, it helped me a lot. So I would like to share it with you. and it's based on one of Ajahn Susito's guided meditation. I listened to Ajahn Susito's Dharma talks almost for, yeah, I would say for 8 years. I really appreciate um, his insights on and his Dharma. So I highly recommend uh, following. I consider him as my teacher, even he hasn't, even if I've never met him personally. So I said already that there are those 5 daily recollection that we have, that is encouraged to go through daily. And one of them is, of course, the impermanence of that body, that we go through life and death. And the Buddha himself recommends to be very much aware of our own, of the mortality of that body. We live our life as if tomorrow is granted, right? Because we are in our 40s, we say, yeah, overall, I still have 40 years to live. And we live our life with that idea in mind. And because the mind is ageless, then we do not feel any, we do not feel the aging, not that much. Maybe in the body, but the mind is still as swift as when you were 20, right? So we live with that. We live with the belief that there will be a tomorrow. But one has to practice as if tomorrow is not granted, as if the next falling asleep is not granted, as if the next hour is not granted, as if the next minute is not granted, as if the next breath is not granted. So one has to live as if there is an in-breath, an out-breath. There might not be a next one. This is how we should practice. It changed life. Because priorities, or what seems so important, really the obsessions of the mind, when you are in that perspective where you don't know if tomorrow is granted. Because in our life, in our mind, there is a kind of inertia towards the tomorrow. There is a forward movement in life all the time. So one stop this forward movement of the mind projecting tomorrow, and we stay there. Maybe not. And then obsession, projections, project, what seems important, then suddenly it stops. This is one way to practice. And there is other kinds of techniques that I cannot teach live. Maybe during a retreat one day. But today I would like us to be a little bit deeper, and I would like to offer guided visualization meditation. So it would be a contemplation requiring you a bit from you a bit of imagination. Right. And it's called being with a dying friend. Right. So I invite you to take a comfortable posture. You can do it also while lying down, being very comfortable. You don't really need to sit really formally or really straight, but keeps awareness for the next 30 minutes. A posture that allows you to stay alert and able to attend to that meditation, to that guided meditation. So whenever you are ready, you can close your eyes and just follow my voice. And, so today, right now, you can imagine that you are in a hospital room, sitting next to the bed of a friend. You can choose anyone, also someone you do not know, who is actually dying. You know that that person, she or he, is living his her last moments. It's certain. It's certain. So you can imagine yourself sitting on a chair at the side of the bed of that person. The person is lying down. He has closed eyes. Bedroom, and she's connected to instruments, measuring instruments. Can be a close friend, someone who do not know, you do not know. What you know, only one thing, is that you have to be there. You have to be present right now. You feel it as the most important responsibility right now. To be with that person struggling for life. So you sit there, feeling your body, feeling maybe uncomfortable on this hospital chair, the discomfort of the body. It matters and yet not matters. And you realize that what was important 2 days, 3 days before is not important right now. What's important is just your presence and you realize also that maybe you do not know really how to do that, how to be there. In that very moment when It's the most important time for that person. You can't do anything. Whatever you think won't change anything. You cannot walk away, move away. You just have to be there. Nothing to attach to, nothing to project. You're just there, waiting for that life to exhaust. And because of the sacredness of that moment, the mind gets calm because it drops all interest in fidgeting, doing, being busy. Openness arises. You can watch your friend the chest arising, sinking slowly, maybe some signs of agitation, of struggling, and then very faint movement again, slowly up and down, up and down. Watching this movement connect to your own breath. Same movement in you. Feeling the chest and emptying the chest as a continuous movement, as a sign of life. And you feel this connection between the two breaths. That thread of life. Yet different situation, different life forces in the two bodies. Maybe you feel very lucky to be alive, to be able to breathe smoothly, there's still nothing to do and nowhere to go, only to attend the next moment. And because of the situation, you feel very grounded, heavy, as you could barely move. And the mind can expand and the awareness take into your body, the body of your friend together. Might be expansion as if you were one. Calmness of the mind. Make it that it includes more and more space in the room. Some signs of agitation in the other body. The medics come in the room, do their thing. Because of this strange calmness, it looks like you're living in a different timeline. They look very fast, busy. While you are feeling like you are experiencing everything very slowly. Paramedic staff, they look like ghosts, not really there, but moving around like appearances. They empty the room again, and you're there again. Looking at your friend, maybe some memories come back. The throat might feel tight again. Emotions might arise. And still this heaviness, and as if the atmosphere was charged. Charge of something you don't know how to qualify. Something beyond yourself. Still, the mind might try to find a way to get out of here. But it attends back to this openness, heaviness, calmness. being there, nowhere to go, nothing to think about. You watch again the chest of your friend, some sign of struggling, going up, going down. And this time, the chest doesn't go up again. Something freezes inside of you. And there is no meaning for that. You stay there, attend to that moment, but the chest doesn't go up. As if everything was suspended. You do not hear anything, just the heaviness of that moment, not finding any meaning, any interpretation. Some emotions, maybe some tears, flush of chemicals in the body as a reaction. And the medical staff coming around, moving fast, while you still do not comprehend what's going on. Bodies walking around that body, lying down there, still not knowing what to do, what to think about. Someone's talking to you. You reply, do not really understand. It's like as if you were seeing the scene from above, like if you were looking from the ceiling, some sitting body, lying down body, vertical bodies, some still, some moving, yet you have not departed from your body. Looking at the scene as if you were not part of it. Someone's talking to you again, offering you to stay longer. You nod and they just leave the room. Feeling the emotions, maybe some memories, still do not understanding that moment, and still nowhere to go. Atmosphere might be supercharged, the realization that something has stopped. Feeling your 2 feet on the ground and your body, inhabiting your body again. Maybe the discomfort, the tears, the tight throat, the emptiness felt. Touching the sacredness of that moment. Knowing that your body is not that different. It's a frame, sensations inside, pressure, texture, cool and warm, movement is felt. Knowing that that body is the framework you can use for your liberation. It won't last either. Something has happened, something sacred. You touch it with your awareness. You take few deep breaths. And whenever you are ready, you know that you can move, maybe stand up, and that you don't need to attend closely anymore. You re-inhabit your body a little bit more. And whenever you are ready, you can leave that room. Take your time. You can take a few moments for yourself. So I did this meditation 8 years ago and did it again yesterday. And what appeared to me was that it's really like being in meditation. I mean, being in the presence of dying friend, where actually you have to drop everything, any concern, and also priorities just disappear. There's nothing more important than just to be present, right? And in the presence of death, it's such a responsibility that you will manage to do it. There is no choice. You will feel very responsible to do it, right? Nothing else matters. This is a very extreme case, but in meditation, that's also your responsibility. You drop any concern from daily responsibilities for a short while. Priorities vanish. What's important is to attend to that very moment. There is no meaning to it, no interpretation, no before and after, no way to get out, nowhere to go, nothing to think about. So death, contemplation of death, brings you to deep samadhi, right? And I said it already, maybe some Dhutanga monks or Thai monks, they would sometimes go where in forests where or in caves where there were tigers. And tigers actually still some times ago they were human would be prey of tigers, right? Tigers would kill human beings and eat them, so monks would go there anyway, and this fear of the tigers walking around them would actually bring them samadhi. I'm not encouraging this kind of practice, but yeah, and also some people who suddenly will face imminent death, mine would drop, mine would drop. Or there is also this account of monks who would actually sit at the edge of a cliff, for example. So you have to stay very alert in order not to fall. If you fall asleep, then you might die, right? So those again are extreme examples, but in the perspective of imminent death, everything is put back in perspective. What's important, what remains in those moments. So you cannot hold on to your possessions, right? You cannot hold on to your status in society, to your name. You cannot hold on to your thinking. You cannot change the course of action of life. You cannot say live longer. You cannot say die sooner. You have no control over that. The only thing that remains is presence and attention. Feeling the agitation, you cannot move from your seat. And when everything drops, layer bit by bit, layer by layer, in the presence of imminent death, then there is this grounding, this heaviness, and the mind might fill the room, not feel the room, fill the room, expand, because it has let go of what keeps it busy. You cannot be busy here. You cannot walk back and forth like a busy bee. It invites stillness of the body. It invites stillness of the mind, humility, not understanding what's going on. Meditation is not different. It's like facing your death all the time. This is why I always talk about courage. Meditation is courage. until you find that, yes, by dropping worldly concerns for a moment, you find that stillness you didn't know you could have. That heaviness, that grounding, touching the sacredness. So this is for you to reflect, and thank you for your attention today. Thank you for bearing with this guided meditation. And I would like us to share the merits of this meditation. If you like, it's an invitation, you're not obliged to share those merits with. You can choose some people who are struggling with sickness, with life and death. It can be yourself if you're sick. Sharing those merits that we've achieved through that practice to those people. And please bow. So thank you for today. I know it's a heavy, loaded, this uncomfortable topic, and yet I think it can really change your life, to put you through this kind of uh, process, because hmm, I would say that before knowing the Buddha's teachings, I couldn't find any answers about what this is all about. And I found in the Buddha's teachings all the answers. The why. Why are we born? Why are we dying? Where are we going? How to change the course of our lives. By doing what? How to change the destinations. How to learn how to die. The benefit of that. What to put aside in order to feel lighter. And for those who have chosen this path, how to stop the cycle of birth and death. For those who have seen through it and said, enough is enough. So you start to understand and to know how it works, And then you can act in accordance to what you've understood, and either keep being illusioned or trying to develop right understanding, wisdom, in order to navigate this. change the habits, the behavior towards harmlessness. And I believe this is by this process. And this is the reason why I receive all those messages. It was a man recently, just 5 sentences, not 5 sentences, I would say 5 words. He said, "Thank you for having planted a seed. I did the breathing meditation when I was in distress, and this time it worked." And that was it. Very simple. I taught him meditation maybe 1.5 years ago, complete silence afterwards, and then this message. This message. So we can understand why the Buddha said, yeah, the Dhamma is the true refuge. It's the true refuge. And this is in ourselves. Right? Thank you. I close this session. If you have any further questions, you can ask them now, or if you need to leave, you can go. Contact me anytime if you need to.